Today we got another West Coast classic. This one's real special. I'm just gonna come right out with it. Today we are doing Jay Worthy and Dame Funk, Magic Hour. I've been sitting on this one for a while as well. I even took notes on this one because this one is real consistent, and without the notes, the description it would seem kind of like a blur. But I'm gonna give it a little 60-second review real quick. All right, so Magic Hour by Dame Funk and Jay Worthy. I remember a long time ago, Jay Worthy had put up on Instagram an announcement, basically announcing this album, but also saying that for a while he had wanted to work with Dame Funk. My personal opinion on that, I was thinking both of these are really dope artists, but I wasn't sure how they would mold together. And I also was kind of wondering why he specifically wanted to get on Dame Funk's beats with his rap style. So these are questions I had going into the album, but I can say that they both came together, and I don't know how they did it, but they made a West Coast classic. But this one is a little bit different than every album that has dropped this year because this is not just G Funk, but completely different beats and styles that Dame Funk experimented with, and Jay Worthy as well experimented with how he was gonna rhyme on these. And the schemes that they came up with are awesome. They have some catchy ass songs, and this album isn't too long either. It's a perfect length. So I'm glad that was like perfectly timed, pretty much. So yeah, this album, like I said, it's not super long. It's 16 songs. It's about 40 minutes. I didn't realize that till just now when I started like gathering these notes and stuff for this, because the other times when I listened to it, I kind of felt like I don't know. For some reason I thought it was like maybe like closer to an hour, but nah, this is a perfect length. All these songs have meat and potatoes. That's a term that phrase that me and my friends say, meat and potatoes. This song is meat and potatoes. All these songs have meat and potatoes. I mean to say. So this album cover that's posted above this Spotify that I pulled up, I believe that's the back cover, and then the front cover is what you see shown there on Spotify, and then you could kind of see it in the corner here real small, but that's the actual album cover that pops up when you look it up on iTunes or Spotify. The reason why I went with this cover above is to show people a visualization of Jay Worthy and Dame Funk, because at the end of the day, people who are new to these two are legendary status. Each of them legends in their own right, and it's really cool that they're coming together. But the people who don't know, I gotta put a face. I gotta put a face, and I think I did that with my last review. I can't remember if I put a face to the artist, but I definitely put a link to where to see their faces. So that's real important. If people happen to know who these two are, it makes it easier to see the like how far they're getting or how far they've come whenever they collab with artists outside of their genres. And I'm real proud of this album, straight up. This is another one that I gotta put in my collection. Dame Funk and Snoop Dogg have an album together. They've worked together in the past, like just to kind of give or shed light on the depths and the achievements that Dame Funk has accomplished. I've seen him in a documentary as well, talking about G Funk, and that's the thing. Like, people don't understand that's a really hard genre to produce, and that's the reason why there's not so many people producing that anymore. And it's crazy to me how he stays so consistent and able to just come up with new patterns, new drums, new styles, new this, new that. Like, I'm just gonna get right into it. So this first track, San Dimas, as you can see, it's a track that features G Perico and wait, I don't know how to get it to show everybody. There we go. So it's got Jay Worthy, Dame Funk, Honda Carter, and G Perico. And Honda Carter pops up on another track as well. Um, So this is a really nice smooth opening track. It's got G Perico. I don't he don't rap on this. He does a really nice intro. Like it's basically just like setting the mood for part of the album. Second track as listed is West Side, and on the left we have the Google track listings pulled up as well. And if you happen to have Spotify or iTunes, I definitely recommend pulling this up and listening to it after this. So this track West Side is the first track that opens it, and the track is not too heavy. It reminds me of Snoop Dogg The Last Meal, which is an album that came out in 2001 or 2001 or 2002. So this is a song in 2024, but it's got that kind of vibe. They did a real good job on that track. It's real hard to capture, and I know that they didn't do it on purpose, but in general, it's hard to capture the vibe of a different era, especially from the past, and make it modern. And this track definitely does that for me. It definitely captures a specific era. Drum is on the track and has a perfect hook. And the song is an anthem as well. I feel like this song is a West Coast anthem. I'm really glad that they went with the title West Side. But the hook, it's a really catchy hook. So track number 3 is called Rich Today. This song features, I wrote it down. This song features Levin Cal. Let's see, let me pull that shit up there too. So it features Levin Cali and Polyester the Saint. I don't know who's who because I'm unfamiliar with each artist, but I can say that one of them drops an ill ass verse and then the other drops a perfect hook. Um, Dame Funk has a really awesome beat on his track. It reminds me of Dog Pound. It reminds me of like Corrupt and Daz. But the hook on that song is that song is a really catchy hook. I think that's one of the best songs on the album, straight up. Like this is a song that I recommend if you do listen to this album. I think that this is going to be the song that you listen to early in the morning. It's just going to be part of your morning routine when as soon as you hop in the car, throw this song on. This is a really good song. Jay Worthy comes through with verses all up and down this album. Like each song he comes through consistently. Like I don't know how to describe it. Like if you're familiar with the style, you know that he doesn't lack. Like it's always on that point, but like he'll just do it differently, but it's always on that level. And I'm glad to say before I continue reviewing this that he's consistently on that level for each song. Like he doesn't drop on some songs. He's just consistent, and that's just real important. Like his style, his craft, like he's 100% in his craft. Like basically, if you can imagine a monk on the top of a mountain just ready to fight whoever comes up to that mountain to challenge him, like that's Jay Worthy. Like he's always on that level, on that style that like it's just crazy to me that he's able to do that with these beats and these like Dame Funk also did his thing because he's not giving you just the same G-Funk beat. And he never really did. Like he always had different shit. But this album in particular, I feel like he's doing like different genres, different vibes, different just doing different shit. But like I said, I mean he's always done that, but just the levels of drifting off, I feel like he really drifted off into different stuff on this album. So Rich Today, that one's a really catchy hook. I kind of want that song to be played on the radio. If any DJs happen to watch this, consider playing that song. Boogie. This song's dope. The verses and the hook are awesome, and that also kind of ties into what I was saying about that consistency. Like this is one of them songs where the hook and the verses are consistent along with the beat. This song features Inhale and track number 5, Can't Do That. This one's one of my favorite songs. This one is a classic track. This song shows that Jay Worthy is heavy in the game. He's a hip hop general. Um, yeah, this song, his verses actually in this song pretty much goes back to my point about the consistency. Like this song is a song that has like where he brings that shit, but at the same time it's like he like I don't know the way he glides on these beats is really interesting. That's ultimately what I have to say about this album. The way he glides on these beats is really interesting. Like you just gotta imagine being an artist given these beats, and the way he packages up and sandwiches his shit, it just sends it off like it's real dope. And every feature that's on this album is dope. I don't know how these people know these people, or or what studio they all go to, but every like there's a lot of artists I haven't heard of on this album, and then there's some artists that I think seen on other songs, but everybody everybody that's on this album does their job. Like whether it's verses or a hook or a chorus or singing or vocals, everybody does their thing. Um, so 105 West. This song right here, this is the song that was, I believe, the first single. They have a music video for this song, and that's what I recommend checking out. I don't even think I need to read what I put on there, but yeah. So this song features Ty Dolla Sign, Channel Tress, and DJ Quick, and that's big. That for one, that's big to be a producer and to get DJ Quick rapping on your shit, and at the same time, it's big because Ty Dolla Sign's on that shit. Like I don't, and Channel Tress as well. Like all of them together, and Jay Worthy like on the verse, like all of them together crafted a real good song. So I remember whenever this song came out, it was not that long before the album dropped. From what I remember, I'd have to go on YouTube and look at the dates. I don't feel like doing that right now, but this track, they have a music video up. I definitely recommend checking it out. This track is very this song stands alone because it's different from the songs on the rest of the album. Each song is pretty much like that. Each song stands alone, but I recommend checking this song out. And when you do check it out, don't expect that the whole album is like this specific song. Like there's vibes on this album, but DJ Quick, Channel Tress, Ty Dolla Sign, Jay Worthy make this a fire ass song. This is a song to ride to, straight up. That's the best way I could describe this song specifically. This is a song to ride to. I'm glad they call it 105 West. Next song is called It's So Hard, and this song features Osby Chill. So the hook on this song is fire. It's catchy. It's nice. I believe it's Jay Worthy singing that hook and someone else, I think. But Osby Chill has a ill ass verse on this shit. Osby Chill, I'm gonna start listening to Osby Chill right after this. Actually, I'm about to start listening to Osby Chill. Osby Chill got some fire ass verse on this shit. I need to get familiar. Jay Worthy as well. Jay Worthy consistent on all the track. And you know what too? I gotta put some respect on the fact that he's able to glide with all these people. Like all these people do their part. Like as far as song structure goes, everybody's on whatever they're on. Like they're doing that shit 100%. Whether it's hook, verses. The next track number 8, Untouchable, features P Lo. So Untouchable. So I put that Jay Worthy dropped some ill verses on this, and he said it with his chest. So whenever you hear that track, remember that he drops his verse with his fucking, he says that shit with his fucking chest. That's some real West Coast shit. When you drop your verse and you say that shit with your fucking chest, like you can tell when people's in the studio when they say that shit with their fucking chest. And that's one of them tracks where I'm like, yo, this nigga said that shit with his motherfucking chest. That was the that was the first thing I wrote down. God damn, it's funny reading these shits back, cause I be trying to write them all quick and shit. And I had a cat come in through my window and basically jump on my table and lay on the shit that I'm trying to write. So track number 9 is an interlude. I'm not gonna say too much about that, but track number 10, Heart Stop. This one is fucking fire. This is another track that features Channel Tress. This track, the beat is one of them ones. This is actually the perfect example of what I was saying earlier. How Dame Funk dives into other genres and styles. So this track is one of my favorite tracks, but it's got a like a vintage 80s R&B like. No, I take that back. It's got like a vintage 70s, 80s vinyl, like, fuck it. If you've ever like really sat back and just played a whole bunch of vinyls at a record store and shit, like I think you know what I mean. Like it sounds like it's got like an 80s vintage style, like them fucking, damn, like I'm not even gonna say it. Yeah, that's one of my favorite tracks. That's a really dope track. Track number 11, right after that, is a song called Connected. And there's a verse and a hook by Barney Bones, and I'm pretty sure I've seen that name before. I think I'm gonna have to do some research, but I think I've seen that name on one of these albums I've reviewed. But this song Connected is the most underrated anthem of the year. This song is catchy as fuck. Barney Bones has a perfect hook. Dame Funk has a different type of beat. Also one of my favorite tracks. Yeah. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. Barney Bones, whoever you are, you really came through on this song. Fire. Really, really good hook from what I remember. And then the track right after that, number 12, Bounce, features Superfly. And this is so this song really brings me back. Damn, man, I really gotta take time to give Dame Funk some props on these beats. Like, I need to listen to Dame Funk more often. Dame Funk really got more styles in his bag than I thought. Like, and aside from that, he's also been doing his research. He's someone I've been following on Instagram for years. Like, every now and then I'll comment on shit and he'll get back to me. So he's a solid dude, straight up. But y'all got to put respect on his name. I personally need to just start playing him more often. I need to. I mean, he has a couple throwback albums that I really, really like, and I always go back to those. But I just need to do that shit more often. This is another one that's on that list of shit I got to go back to just more often. Aside from that, any artist that's out there, get at Dame Funk more often. People need to start putting his beats in their rotations more often and feature him on your albums more often as well. His style is very diverse, very one of a kind. Like, you can only get this shit from him, so y'all need to start putting him in the loop more often. So track number 12, Bounce, features Superfly. This is also one of my favorite tracks. Jay Worthy was on his shit. Superfly really got me back in my East Siders era vibe. Very nostalgic. But that song reminds me of like that East Siders, not necessarily East Siders, but just that era, like early 2000, 2001, 2, like 2002, 2002. Track number 13 is called Watch Your Tone. When the drums come in, it kind of sounds a little bit different. Like, to me personally, when the drums come in, like, I think that's the first thing that comes in. But when they comes in, the drums, it sounds like it's in reverse, but it's like, it's just different. It's a different style as far as production goes. It's a different style. But when the hook comes in, immediately, Ray Wright, I think, is the person who did the hook. Well, let's see. Let me just make sure. Let me make sure I'm not fucking up. So Ray Wright, when he comes in with the hook, immediately this song solidifies and turns into a track. This song is perfect. They executed everything intended. So Ray Wright, shout out to you. Yeah, this song has a dope ass hook. Cause I remember like this is one of the ones that's like a different vibe and different style, like I was talking about earlier. So that's one to keep an eye out for. And then track number 14 caught up. This song is fire as fuck. This song sounds like something I can hear Nate Dogg's spirit on this. Dame Funk rocks that keyboard on this, kills the hook, and then Jay Worthy drops some dope verses again. So that's another song to keep an eye out for. And they do all that shit in 2 minutes and 12 seconds. They they got that shit on Smash. Number 15 is called Let You Go. This song has bounce. Jay got some fire. Jay Worthy does the hook on this song. He got some fire on that shit. And then this some catchy pimp shit. Sha Hef has an ill flow. Sha Hef is the feature. I hope I'm saying that right, but I believe it's Sha Hef. I'm if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. But Sha Hef has a ill style, ill verse. That he's another person where I'm like, I don't know where Jay Worthy met this dude at, but whoever he is, ill. I want to hear more. I need to keep an eye out for Sha Hef. Can't Fade the Funk, the last track. Yeah, this is another consistent track to seal off the album. This song is House Party Vibes. This is the other song that has Honda Carter. Um Honda Carter has nice vocals and a dope verse. So all around, this album is real consistent, like I said. And as long as this review was like, I made this album seem like it's an hour long probably, but nah, they got this in 39 minutes and 41 seconds. This is a really solid album. And you know what? This is a perfect example of this album came out July 12th, 2024, by the way. So this is like another one of those albums in that group of the albums I've been reviewing so far. A lot of them dropped in July. Um, but this is a solid, consistent album. It's not super long. It's all the songs got meat and potatoes. Uh, they delved into a lot of different styles and vibes. That's one thing that I wasn't expecting. And I'm really glad. I'm really glad for that. So, yeah, this is another West Coast classic. And like I said, like it's not easy to write songs to Dame Funk's production. It's just not. I'm not even about to lie to you guys. Like it's not something easy. So you got to put even more respect on that shit. Like like Dame Funk's vibes, in order to match that, you got to take a class on that shit. You can't just get in the studio and just write some shit to his songs and make it. So this is what I consider. It's not easy to write something to his production and make it into an actual song. You can write blah 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 over it and put it on Spotify, but that doesn't make it a song. And that's the thing about just artists in general that a lot of y'all got to start putting more respect on, because it's like there's a lot of people who are getting on instrumentals and just writing blah 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 and putting it out there. That doesn't make it a song. They took all these and made songs. These are songs. Like when you listen to it, remember me saying it. These are songs. So these two right here came to the studio and they did exactly what they need to do, and y'all need to cherish that shit, because shit, this vibe that them two together created can't really be recreated. There's roots and DNA within this style and sound that, like, I mean, as you can see, like 213, East Side is Nate Dogg, all that, like, that is a specific era that I keep referring to, and this pulls just a little bit from that, but at the same time is pulling from different eras and molding and making something new. So we always hear in hip hop the gumbo theory that we keep referring to. That's real strong within this album. So I know I always talk about trying to make these 10 minutes, but this is another long one because this is another classic album that came out within that Kenny and Friends month, or era, I should say. I mean, although we're referring to Juneteenth, there have been a lot of albums dropping in that range, like of a month before Juneteenth and the month after, and this is one of them. This is one of the ones that just slid under there. Jay Worthy, you might know, he's one of the people that performed on stage at Kenny and Friends. He's the one who's been putting out Meet the Whoops. So that's another thing to be on the lookout too. I mentioned that on the Chupacabra album, Meet the Whoops. He's one of them. He's featured on that album. He's featured on the the DJ Muggs Soul Assassins Death Valley album that I did a review of. He's been working. I believe he's a member of Griselda. After this album, he put out an announcement or something referring to the project that he's working on for Griselda or with Griselda. So he's working. This is a dude that's heavy in the game. He's heavy in Compton. It's about time that the legend tells itself, like, put some respect on his name. Like, he's a face that you've been seeing for years. You just didn't realize it. If you go and pull up Vice TV and go to the Kendrick interview that they did years back, where Kendrick's in a backyard, presumably in Compton, Jay Worthy's in the background. Like, he's been in the game for a cool minute. I myself have been like just catching up to what he's been doing, but he's on pretty much every album I listen to. He's definitely a feature. He's been putting in work. He's tied to all the heavy hitters on the West Coast in the game. So the reason I'm pointing this shit out right now is because we get a lot of East Coast bloggers or podcasters who coincidentally all ride Drake, but they don't ever have nothing nice to say about the West Coast. I dare you to listen to this fucking album. Like, Drake put out 100 gigabytes of music. None of that shit's fucking with this album. It's West Side.